And the Harris campaign now in debt, $20 million. Lindy Lee, one member of the DNC's finance committee, says she and others were misled about the vice president's chance of winning the election. Lee says she helped raise millions for the campaign and now has to explain to donors why Harris lost. Just one example of their spending. The Harris campaign spent $450,000 a day. This was on ads displayed in Las Vegas, and now staff members and vendors are worried they may not get paid. News Nation's Kelly Meyer has been following this story and joins us live from the White House with the very latest. Kelly?
Yeah, the election may be over, but the mountain of debt from the short-lived campaign isn't going away fast enough for them. The Harris campaign trying to dig out of debt nearly a week after.
Hold on 1 second. Before we deep dive into this and we get the rest of the details, when they first told me this on the Millionaire Morning Show, I thought that they was lying. Because, you know, people be putting some wild stuff in the chat sometimes. This is happening. And then I'll have to go and research it because I have to be responsible for my platform before I start to get into it. $450 a day? $450,000 a day. But you know what? I believe it. Honest to God, I believe it. I really do believe it. You know how I believe? You know why I believe it? Because they spent so much egregious money this election season. You wouldn't even want to know why I believed it. I ain't even going to talk about that aspect of the game. But all I'm saying is $450 a day in Vegas on digital ads alone? So you thought that you can bombard people to success. But see, let this be a business lesson as well as a political lesson. From the business side of it, just because you promote it don't mean that you got a good product to sell. And so once people start to do their research and they sample the product, then once they realize that it's a trash product, they're not going. So you can run as many ads as you want to. It doesn't matter. You can't bombard. As a matter of fact, you might even piss people off. Now, ads from a business perspective is supposed to get people curious enough. It serves two purposes. It either gets people curious enough to figure out what it is that's being advertised to them. And so they then start to, research it, and then you're supposed to have some substance behind it. Or it's supposed to, remind people of something that they otherwise wouldn't have been mindful of a good product. But either way, you're supposed to have a good product on the other end of that spectrum. I'll give you another example. It's almost like, let's say you got a trash app or some nasty food, right? And your whole restaurant is filled with roaches and stuff. Well, if you send a bunch of ads and advertisement to it, and once people arrive, it's just probably going to have an exponentially worse effect. So you can bombard people as much as you want to. If you don't have a strategy behind it, and I tell people all the time, you can have the greatest product of all time, but if you don't have no visibility behind it, you might as well have a trash product. But if you have a trash product and you create great visibility for it, it could be exponentially worse. So either way is bad. But the fact that they raised, and there's so many layers to this that we don't really go into. The fact that they was able to raise $1 billion from who? Who? They told me that they raised $50 million the day that she got nominated from women and from AKAs and the Divine Nine. I hope y'all feel so stupid. I remember I was headed over to D.C. For whatever reason, I was in D.C. I think I was there for a meetup. Was I there for a meetup? It was something that I was doing in D.C. from a business perspective. It had to be a Patreon meetup. Make sure y'all tap into the Bag Chasers. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. Shout out to Teach. And then last but not least, get your tickets to come and kick it with me in Detroit, December 14th. The tickets is on sale right now, but you can get a discount by using discount code Anton. For whatever reason, I was in D.C. And I remember I was riding in an Uber. Yep, maybe it was. I don't know. But they were basically saying that the AKAs was going to be heading to D.C. and they were on inauguration day. All you was going to see was pink and green and pearl. Pink, green, pearl, pink, green, pearl. And I told him right then and there, whoever it was that was taking me, I said, because I was in the truck. I said, you are sadly mistaken. If y'all got hotel rooms that's booked up in DC, and you think that the narrative is going to be that y'all going to paint the whole thing pink and green, oh man, y'all might as well get your money back right now, because them hotel rooms going to got to go to somebody else. Let me find out what the rest is going on with this campaign. And y'all over $1 billion, and then you 20 M's in debt. Y'all spent every dollar plus some. This is how the federal government operate today. All right, I got to get to the video.
Their resounding loss,
Jesus
and much
Christ.
of the spending was on digital media advertising, polling, and travel from state to state. According to the reports, the Harris campaign spending 6 figures building a set for Harris's appearance on the Call Her Daddy podcast with host Alex Cooper. A source familiar with the campaign confirming to News Nation the reporting that the Harris campaign was $20 million in the hole after November 5th. And even though the campaign took in at least $1 billion and reported $118 million in the bank as of October 16th, they're still seeing that $20 million in the hole. Another big ticket price, the $15 million the Harris campaign spent on event production, that also went towards the celebrity performances leading up to the election, like that Election Eve rally with Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Ricky Martin. And Harris also reportedly paid $1 million to Harpo Productions, that's owned by Oprah.
What? So she paid Oprah Winfrey $1 million? Oh, this is just a finesse. No wonder Oprah was looking dumb. No wonder she was looking stupid when Oprah was looking at her, and Oprah knew that she wasn't going to win, but Oprah was stealing money. They all was stealing money. They stole y'all money. They stole y'all donation money, and they spent it on each other, and they got a bag, and I wouldn't even be surprised if it was some level of kickback somewhere in there. They stole y'all money, man. So now you seen D.L. Hughley doing. Okay, so now it all makes sense. So y'all was paid off. Y'all wasn't really rocking with her. At least admit it. Yo, so I would respect y'all more if y'all came out and said, hey, she paid me and this is what happened or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But this is crazy, man.
Oprah, we know, did a town hall with Harris back in September and appeared with Harris at her Election Eve rally in Philadelphia. And one GOP strategist putting it to us this way today, saying, quote, damned if you do, damned if you don't, giving the example of John Kerry having been criticized for still having $14 million unspent after his 2004 campaign. The strategist, though, called Harris's debt, quote, egregious, and that they were panic spending in the very end. Kelly.
So, Kelly, how is the campaign trying to make up these losses now?
Well, we know that they are still fundraising despite the loss, sending out these emails you could see asking to donate to the Harris Fight Fund program. What's interesting to point out is that the donations to the Harris presidential campaign are being...
That's why they over here counting fake votes. Look, man, for all of y'all little women on TikTok, that's a part of the finesse. Y'all do know that y'all getting finesse and they acting like they counting votes. They conceded for a reason. They talking about that they counting the fight fund. We're going to continue to count every single vote. Well, that's because they trying to make up money in order to make up for that $20 million hole in the vendors that they still owe because they don't want to get embarrassed. I can't believe it. Oh, I got to cover this on a Million in the Morning Show. I got to deep dive. I really got to do some more research into this. I can't believe that y'all got finesse like this. Oh my God, this is crazy, man. All right, yeah. It's all making sense now.
Partially redirected toward a vote recount effort. So when you click donate, that link takes you to the Act Blue website. And the fine print suggests that the vice president's campaign might be launching a recount effort allocated to the Harris for President's recount account is where the money would go. And Donald Trump, we know, won the election with 312 electoral college votes, including in all 7 battleground states. The president-elect has since suggested Republicans might help cover the Democrats' debts, writing on Truth Social over the weekend, quote, now they are being squeezed by vendors and others. Whatever we can do to help them during this difficult period, I would strongly recommend we, as a party and for the sake of desperately needed unity, do. So no word yet if President-elect Trump has followed through on that Truth Social post.
And I heard that Trump spent a fraction. Literally spent less than like somewhere around 300 M's or something like that. And they still have money left over. And he said, listen, we'll pay for it. We got you, boo. In the effort and the sake of unity. Y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. And again, get your tickets. This is crazy. I want to know what y'all think.